This is a part of the truck that bothers a lot of people. It is the air dam, the chin spoiler, whatever you want to call it. It is this plastic piece on the bottom of Super Duty trucks. I'm pretty sure GM and Dodge has these, but on the Super Duties, they are particularly large. And a lot of people just say take it off. They go for the trimmer variant of this or the two-wheel drive variant that is much smaller. Now, I don't have any issue with having this on my truck, but I think what really bugs a lot of people is why is it here? Does it do anything? Does it provide any value? It's two sides to this argument. Why would Ford spend so much money on these units? I mean, this is probably millions of dollars over the course of building so many vehicles per year. Does it really work? Does it do anything? Does it actually save fuel? We are going to try to see if we can measure any difference with or without this valance on the truck. Now, from my understanding, this was done for fuel, and also over here on the running boards, this was done for fuel savings. Now, this is a little bit more tasteful. The Super Duty embossed plastic insert that is over the running boards, although mine are a little bit dirty. But I think those have been a lot better or a lot more well received than the spoiler. Me personally, I've never really worried about it. It's not bothered me, but I do know it's bothered a lot of people that it's so big. If you have bigger tires, they will make contact with that and it'll become torn up. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on the road and do a quick MPG test with this, and then we'll remove it and we'll see if there's any difference with or without this unit. Let's get on the road. So for this test, we are going to be using a high rate of speed because I would imagine that air dam has the most profound effect. We're crossing gross back, so I'm going to reset my computer now, and that will be where we set it both times, and I'm going to bring the speed up to about 80 miles an hour. And I'm going to turn on cruise. Now, this stretch of road here. All right, we're cruising at 80 miles an hour. Now, this stretch of road here, 80 miles an hour, even though it's slightly over the speed limit, it gets me tailgated. Most people drive much faster than 80 miles an hour on this road, so I should be able to maintain this speed. Hopefully we can do a clean test. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove that, come back here and do this again and see if the computer will notice any difference in MPG. Now, I know it's not exactly scientific. We don't have any fancy measuring device that can measure the MPG, but the computer should be pretty accurate. Even though it could be a little bit off, it should be similar on a back-to-back test with the same conditions on the same day. So let's go ahead and see what happens. But let me talk to you guys about this truck. This is the 7.3 liter gasoline V8 from Ford. If you haven't been following the channel, we just picked this up about 13 days ago, and it is a great truck. I'm really enjoying it. It's really growing on me, and very happy with it. I've actually considered this. I consider driving this for a daily truck. I bought this truck to become a work truck, but we'll see how things go over the next couple of days. Maybe I'll sell my old daily, which was a 2020 F450, and maybe I'll make this my new daily. I do see some things here that I would really like to do, like 35-inch tires, trimmer wheels. I would like to maybe do a dual exhaust, or even like a cutout. Like, what if I could put a exhaust cutout that will allow it to flow when I want it to sound, when I want it to be loud, but then I can turn it off and have it sound stock. I think that would be cool. But let's go ahead and see. At 80 miles an hour, we're getting 13 miles to the gallon, which is pretty good. It's not that different from the diesel 450. Now, that is an F450. They're both geared to 430. That truck's much heavier than this one. This one probably weighs like 7,000 pounds, but that F450 weighs like 9,500 pounds. So that's a significantly heavier truck. But nonetheless, to get 13.3 and a vehicle this size traveling at a rate of this speed, pretty impressive. So it looks like we're crossing the center line exit, and that'll be our test. 3.8 miles, traveling 80 miles an hour. We got 13.3 with the Valance on the truck, so pretty good. 13.3 center line exit. So I'm gonna get over and get off and try to navigate this traffic. See you guys at home while we remove the Valance. All right, guys, super easy removal. Just a couple of screws. Looks like maybe 8 mil, but we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these off and see you guys once this is off. This is how the truck looks with the lower air dam removed. And to be honest, it doesn't look good. It looks very unfinished. You can see the crash bars, and yeah, just it needs something here. It needs either the two-wheel drive Valance or the trimmer Valance, and it would look just fine. So anyway, super easy removal. Didn't even use like a slick 90-degree gun. I just used a regular drill and got them removed. So anyway, let's get on the road, hit 80 miles an hour for a couple of miles and see what happens. All right, guys, so driving to our starting point without our air dam or air Valance. I don't even know what the thing is really called, but we're gonna see if there's any noticeable, measurable difference. Truck seems to drive exactly the same. But anyway, passing the Gratiot exit, resetting our computer here, bringing the truck up to 80 miles an hour. Up she goes. Now, on the way back from that test, the truck got even better MPG at a lower speed. Let's see here, get it up to 80. Set it. The truck got even better MPG on the way back, going around 65 to 70 miles an hour, which is kind of a better speed for this size truck. Did really well driving those speeds. Right now without it, we're sitting here at about 10 MPG. I'm very curious though, will this thing actually see a degradation in MPG, because we're traveling it at a high rate of speed. And yeah, that thing's supposed to work with the aerodynamics a lot, so I think you need the speed. I think 80 is a safe speed for me. I usually don't get into trouble driving 80 miles an hour, but so far it looks slightly lower. We're at 11.3 right now. Let's see what happens. I think 1 MPG would be a good, reason to have that. But if it's even more than one MPG of loss, maybe Ford knows what they're doing by putting that thing on the truck. But I was saying I was impressed by how good the MPG was on the way back. This is fast. 80 miles an hour for a truck this size. I mean, you really must be in a rush. You don't need to drive a truck this big that fast, in my opinion. Can't really expect too much out of it. But yeah, this thing's returning lower MPG now. It's crazy how these little things have an effect. Wow. Now we're getting up to 12. Keep in mind, guys, this is the same day, same weather, back-to-back tests, maybe 40 minutes in between. I stopped and got a smoothie and got back on the road here. We're at 12 miles per gallon. I think around this time with the first test, we were at about 13. So very interesting. How accurate are these computers? I think they're pretty accurate. It's tough to measure your MPG, but I think if you're comparing them back to back, I think they're consistent. I think the computer is definitely consistent. Okay, yeah, it's about 1 MPG less once it gets up, once it's been driving and able to get, cruising for a while and get that acceleration out of there. Yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. We lost an MPG by removing that air valance. So these little things that the OEMs do, they do have an effect. All right, so passing that centerline exit or centerline bridge or whatever you want to call it, we are at 1 MPG less. 1 MPG less. So let's go ahead and shoot back to the house, and I will see you guys there. So back home and across the board, I saw better MPG with that air valance on the truck. It's very surprising. It does seem like it makes a difference. So let's go ahead and jump out. I'm going to put that thing back on because the truck just don't look right with it off. See what I mean? It just looks wrong with it removed. So I'm going to put it back. You can see like the crash bar, I guess you call that. I don't know what I guess it's to keep you from driving up on smaller vehicles. Those are very obvious with this valance removed. So I'm going to put it back because it don't look right. So let me go ahead and get this thing put back on here. So from the testing we've done, it does seem as if the air dam on the bottom of the truck does improve its MPG. Now this was a short test. Really, to do a better test, it would be a very long endeavor, which is not something I have time for. I don't have time to really drive 300 miles in a day just to test this. But from the little bit of a test that we've done, it does appear that that air dam could have a significant effect on the MPG of the vehicle over its lifetime. It seems like it's saved about 1 mile per gallon. Now, when these trucks are left in their stock form, they're really not that bad on fuel. I mean, you could get 15 to the gallon, it seems, with this big 7.3 liter engine. But if you were to add tires, you know, aftermarket off-road trimmer wheels, 35 inches, the larger rotating diameter, heavier, knobbier, that kind of stuff will just eat away at your fuel economy. So comment below and tell me what you think about our quick MPG test of this air valance. And do you think it's a legitimate test? And what do you think about testing off-road tires back to back? I can get the wheels off of my 19250, which are 33-inch Wrangler Duratrax. They're about 1 inch taller than these and a lot knobbier, and I can see exactly how much fuel is consumed compared to the stock wheels. But anyway, my name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Over and out.